Hi friends, this is Amy at Doki Forest. I am here with my new junk journal that I just made, and this is my new journal for a new open collab hosted by Cat Hand. This is her mixed Media Morsels Misfit Makeovers. And what this is each month she will have a misfit item, and you take it and turn it into something else on the page. You use it and, jazz it up. And then there's also prompts to go along with it. So this is January. I'm just jumping in now. And for the prompts, we had napkin. We had charm. So I have this little leaf charm. Wire. Magazine page. And the star of the show, the misfit item, is envelope. And I have two envelopes here. One has one window and the other one has two. I wasn't sure which one I was going to use. And real quick, I just want to point out that the little mushroom house on the cover of my journal was inspired by Lynn over at Paper Hoarders Anonymous. I'll put her link below. She made a super cute mushroom ATC card and I loved it. And back to the envelopes, the only thing I knew I wanted to do at this point was to scrape some paint. So this idea I got because Janet Nash was doing some paint scraping the other day and it looked so relaxing. So I thought, I'm going to give this a go. I've actually never just sat and scraped paint and I loved it. It is a great way to relax and especially to kind of just get your project going. You can just relax into it. You can just scrape paint. You're not really having any high expectations. You're just enjoying the paint. So I will link Janet Nash down below. I know that you probably know her, just like you already know Cat Hand, because these are superstars. They are amazing artists and so inspiring. And then here, even though I just covered up most of the white on the envelope, I'm going to just scrape some paint through this piece of netting that I believe came from a potato bag. And so the thing is, if you don't have too much paint, then you will see a lot of the texture. But in some places I have too much paint and it just looks more blobby. But that's okay because all I'm looking for is just, like I said, some texture. Just trying to build up the layers a little bit. And it's just relaxing, like I said, while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to wind up doing. And here I am just adding another layer. I am just using a cork, dipping it in some neon pink paint, and just stamping it on there. And just adding some lighter pink paint with a dry, pretty much a dry brush. But I'm blobbing a lot of the paint on there and just doing some little swirly whirlies. So now I wanted to find a magazine image to use, a magazine page image, and I found two. I found that lady that I liked and this cat I could not resist. I loved this cat. And then as I cut those two characters out, I started thinking that maybe what I wanted to do was make the envelope into a door that you could open. And on one side would be kind of like a normal world, and on the other side would be, entering a magical fairy world. So I wanted one side of the envelope to be kind of plain, or the door that I'm making wanted to be plain, and the other side painted. But now I'm moving on to the napkin, and I didn't have any napkins that had pretty designs. I had like Super Mario napkins and some other birthday kind of napkins, but I wasn't looking for that. So I took a plain napkin and just painted some trees on there. And while the trees are drying, I'm back on the door. So this is the more normal side of the door. But I guess it still looks sort of magical because it's got like some different colors and everything. And now this cat is going to be on the magical side of the door. So this is like the guardian on the other side of the door. So, and the cat also has a lot of text on him or her, on them. So I wanted to go ahead and cover that up. I'm using my Posca markers, and the first coat covered up some of it, but not the whole thing. I do wind up putting on a second coat just to really take care of the text. So I thought I would give this cat some really funky fur and then just outline a little bit so it looked a little more illustrated. I was tempted to add horns. I didn't add horns. I'm still thinking about that though. I added a little snaggletooth sticking out and some claws. And now, oh, there's where I make a mistake. I'm trying to dry the door and I used the heat gun, and you probably know what happened there, but the plastic on the envelope crinkled up. But I tried not to get discouraged. I was like, it's okay, I'll make it work. So here's a lady and she's about to go through this door. She's just found it, she's gonna go through it. And I'm just trying to define the door a little bit. Give it a doorknob, of course. And then the cat is waiting on the other side. Now I'm trying to carefully cover the plastic when I use the heat gun. So the cat's getting glued down. The door, I'm going to use washi tape so that way I can open and close it. And then I decided I don't want this to just be a regular lady. I'm going to change her up. I'm going to make her a little more foresty. So I am giving her a leaf dress. And again, the Posca pens work really well on magazine images. So she's got like a Tinkerbell kind of dress with the leaves and everything. And then I gave her like blue stripes on her skin just to make her a little more like a creature, like magical. And then I decided I'm going to make her a fairy. So I'm using that envelope again and cutting wings out. And that's me just trying to flatten things. But the door was really bothering me, so what I did was I took out the plastic that was all crinkly and messed up, and I cut out one of the plastic windows that was on that second envelope I had. So it was a good thing I had a backup. And now I'm just gluing that on, and that way we don't have this wonky, melted plastic on the door. And then for the wire and the charm, I thought I would put it on the inside of the door, and it's sort of like a bell. It's the forest's version of a bell. So like, when you open a door and it rings a little bell letting everybody know you're in there. So this little bell lets the cat know that someone has come through the door. And the cat needs to go and check and see, is this someone who is supposed to go through the door into the magical world, or is it a meddling human of some sort? And yeah, so you can see I went over the words again, the text again, with the Posca pen, and it was pretty successful. So I'm pleased with that. And then I just didn't want to have a bunch of the white, it's actually graph paper. I didn't want to have too much of the graph paper showing in the background. So I'm just using that napkin and drawing some grass on there with the Posca pen. And then I'm just sticking that here and there just to try to cover up the graph paper. So the forest is growing. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I really enjoyed the challenge. It's so fun because, you wind up creating something you would have never created if it weren't for these prompts and weren't for this challenge. So thank you so much, Kat, for hosting this. And then, of course, we're going to add a little bit of gold, a little bit of sparkle and shine to the door, to her wings, doorknob. And then I thought she could just use a little bit of decoration on her wings. Just trying to define that door a little bit. And I'm looking to see what else can I add. Oh, I realized her hand had ripped off when I had done the surgery on the door, but I found it and reattached it, so she's okay. And then I realized I should make the inside of this look sort of like a door too, so I'm just also putting a wood texture in there with a doorknob. And just trying to make sure this new window is going to stay on there with a little glue. A little bit of gold watercolor on the inside since I put it on the outside. And then I'm just going around like it's a big door window. So just kind of outlining that. And the grass. Just making it look really illustrated. Really kind of like an illustrated look. And I did decide to give her some horns. And our Misfit Makeover for January is done. Our envelope has transformed into a door to the fairy world. I did add some more outlining to the lady's arms and legs, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. You can see the little charm bell that sort of, rings when you open the door. Not really, we're just pretending. And then here's the cat, who also got horns and wings. I just could not resist. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Really appreciate having you here. Let me know if you are participating in this challenge as well. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye now.